Hello, welcome back to Football by the Numbers. We do exist. We still are alive. I apologize for the month plus of no content. It's my fault. I could give you various excuses. Deaths in the family, busy work schedules, sicknesses, Andrew just leaving me sweltering from his body heat. Know that we still are alive.
My body heat? What does that even mean?
We are going to be bringing you regular content again now that everything has settled down. I am joined once again by my two best friends, Andrew and Will. Andrew, how are you, you sexy lad?
I don't know where this sexual attention from you guys is coming from, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. You know, I'm not doing too bad. Not too bad.
Not seeing you is where it's coming from.
You just saw me last night in person.
Yeah, but it's camera. We don't know each other off camera.
Not to mention Sunday League where we're tearing it up.
Oh my gosh, destroying. Oh. We got fourth in our indoor because we didn't show up for the last two games. Somebody didn't show up for one that we needed him for, two that we needed him for. And outdoor, we're just absolutely destroying it, despite me absolutely dropping a goose egg in an 8-1 victory on Sunday, with yours truly contributing absolutely nothing to that game.
Hey,
but 2 assists.
I don't think any of us contributed
so.
Anything. I think we were all off the board.
No, you had a couple of assists. I had 2 assists in the 2 games before, which were way more important and against better teams. But anyway, speaking of Americans playing soccer, we're here to shit on Gregg.
We are back, baby!
Will, you and I were talking about this for a long time. These are make or break games. This is the important time. This is where you call up your A roster.
I would like to rewind and say 3 windows ago was the time that you freaking go. 3 windows ago. Must win games. We should have won. We would have not been in this situation, but now we're looking at this dreadful roster with our prime players off. I mean, this is our first qualifying match we're playing without Weston McKennie since he got suspended. And we all know how that went.
Throwback to 2018 where we failed to qualify for the World Cup against Trinidad and Tobago because we didn't take it seriously. And both Jurgen Klinsmann and Bruce Arena were thrown out. Reeks of those vibes. But anyway, let's talk about this lineup. Let's go through this lineup real quick. Let's talk about goods and bads and uglies. We got Ethan Horvath, save of the FA Cup this week against Liverpool. Excellent save. Sean Johnson of New York City FC, a boring and vanilla pick from our boring and vanilla coach, and Zach Steffen from Manchester City. Who's our starter? Do we like the callback of Ethan Horvath? Where's Matt Turner?
Matt Turner is currently battling hamstring injury, I want to say.
No, I think it was his foot. I believe they think he might have gotten frostbite or a fractured foot in the game that we played Honduras in Minnesota.
Who's our starter? Is it Steffen or Horvath?
I think it should be Horvath, coming off of 6 straight starts, playing really well. Only the 1 loss to Liverpool.
Has the vibes of savior of the tournament too, since he saved our Gold Cup? Or was it Gold Cup or Nations League? It was one of the two that he just showed up and saved the day like Superman.
Well, Zach just got back into training with Man City after coming back from an injury. I think if he wasn't coming back from an injury and he has been in trainings, that Steffen is the go-to starter simply because he started pretty much most of the games versus Mexico with his distribution. I think Horvath's got to be your starter this time. I mean, he's shown 6 games in a row, 2 or 3 shutouts. I mean, I don't know how you don't start him. I would almost have a problem with not starting him even with Steffen being back in because,
his
game experience
so good.
is everything.
He's got the match sharpness, and he still couldn't shut out Liverpool.
I do want to make a point. I do think Gregg still starts Steffen 2 out of 3 matches.
Well, I don't know. Is that unfortunately, or is that just kind of him solidifying the confidence and that fact that Steffen's our goalkeeper going into this World Cup?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
I was going to say, I think we can only answer that after the fact. You know, if Steffen comes out and draws 3 big clean sheets, then it's yeah, of course, great. But if he drops howlers, and we know he's used to at least 1 howler a game, we'll see. Anyway, let's move on to defenders. I'm excited to see some of these defenders on here. Of course, we have Serginho Dest called up, and then with the injury at Barcelona, so he will not be on there. Yikes. We've got George Bello, Reggie Cannon, Aaron Long making the debut, back from his ACL injury. Super excited to see him back, especially if he can keep his form up from last year before that injury.
I think it was his Achilles, not his ACL.
Eric Palmer Brown instead of Cameron Carter-Vickers. Weird call up. Anthony Robinson, of course, he'll be starting on the left and giving away possession on the left all games. Miles Robinson, James Sands. Miles Robinson, ironically, still at Atlanta United. James Sands, DeAndre Yedlin, gross, and Walker Zimmerman. One glaring omission, boys. I'll see if you can get the right answer here.
John Brooks.
Well, I guess, yeah, he's a glaring omission, but rightfully so in the words of one of our co-hosts here.
That was my guess. I don't know who else you'd be thinking of.
I'll just give you a hint. Serginho Dest goes out at right back, and it's, in my mind, the clear option for a substitute at right back. It's Joe Scally.
Oh, Joe Scally.
Got that.
I think disappointed
Joe
he's not out
Scally
there.
would be perfect for the Mexico match. I really do.
Well,
I think
so they still have an option to call him in because Dest has just recently been removed, and they have not replaced Dest with anybody.
George Bello.
I thought Bella replaced Aronson. Then who did they bring in for Aronson?
Nobody yet, I don't think.
So there's still a roster spot. They could bring in another defender if that was something that they wanted to do.
Correct, but we already have 9 defenders, as is tradition with...
Do we think Aaron Long's getting time, or do we think this is just kind of getting him back into training with everybody and reacclimated to what it's like being on the national team? Because we knew even when Aaron Long got hurt that he was going to be a massive piece in the World Cup. We said this in one of our first videos. Like, Aaron Long must be back with the team at all costs. So is this just kind of a courtesy to say, hey, Aaron Long, you might get 20 minutes here, or put him out there against Panama, or put him out there against Costa Rica, get him some minutes? Because we know Mexico is going to be definitely more out for blood against us. We've got, 3 consecutive wins against them. So I don't know if that's the best game to roll out an injured player coming back.
Definitely not. I was going to say he maybe gets half a game against Panama if we're in the lead, and same thing with Costa Rica. Like if we're in the lead,
he might not even see any time.
I think you're absolutely right. I think he's just kind of an injury time sub or getting reacclimated with the team because he was in such good form and he's such a key part of our defense. I think we go with Miles Robinson, Walker Zimmerman for at least 2 of those 3 games. I don't see James Sands getting in there. All right, so big question here. Who replaces McKennie in the midfield? Because we've got, of course, Adams coming back.
Who's your starting right back? We didn't address that.
I mean, it's going to be Yedlin.
Definitely against Mexico.
It's going to be Yedlin all 3 games.
That's going to be rough.
Cannon for 1 at least.
That's what I was going to say. Reggie Cannon is probably the next shoe in.
But let's move on to the big question here. The big question, midfield. Who gets into the midfield? Because we've got Adams coming back. He's healthy. Yunus Musa. For me, it's De La Torre.
I think you split it between DLT and Reyna. I think you kind of put Reyna in as a false 10 and kind of experiment a little bit with that because of the way Christian's playing, because of the way Weah is playing up top. And, I think in Mexico, you have to start Pepe. If you don't start him against Mexico, to me, that's just like throwing it in his face. Like, hey, you picked us over them. We promised you that you're going to be a part of this team. And, oh, well, we're going to play Mexico and we're going to sit you out. What did he do the last time he played them?
He hasn't scored against them.
Didn't he score? Isn't that the game he scored 3 goals?
No.
He's only scored.
Or I'm sorry, 2 goals. 2 goals.
That was against Jamaica. Scored 1 at Honduras and I think 2 at Jamaica.
And I don't start Pepe.
I don't think he does either when he's not on great form. If he was playing, he's not playing regularly, right, John? We talked about
the only other person you'd put in is P. Folk, and he's not smart enough for that.
Well, he hasn't started for Augsburg or even played a game since February. Gregg can call him up because he's his golden boy, but the front 3 has to be Payfolk and Christian and Weah.
Well, P-Folk's not going to get any love because for some reason nobody loves him.
Even though he's in the best form of any of our strikers. And I like the Gio Reyna call at the 10. I really like Gio Reyna. I'd like to see him get some game time. I don't think he plays best off of the right wing. I think he plays best at the 10. With his injury record too and his failure to hit the net on a lot of those dancing plays, I don't see him starting. Maybe in Costa Rica, but other than that, I don't see him starting anywhere outside the 10.
Then does that mean Ferreira is going to be your starter?
We're still on the midfield, boy. We're still on the midfield. We haven't gotten to
the midfield is solidified. We already know who's starting. It's going to be Acosta, Adams, and and Musa. Like, we don't even need to play games. There is no other person Gregg is starting.
Wait, what?
Besides Acosta. Are you kidding me?
I
There's
think
no
that's what
other
does
player
2 out
he
of 3
picks.
games.
0% chance. No,
think
there's
Torre
no
starts
chance
1.
he starts against Mexico. No chance.
Not against
Nope.
Mexico.
He's going to roll out Acosta the first 2 games, and then he's going to throw anybody he wants in there for the last game.
I'll only be okay with it if Acosta drops those dimes like he was the last time he was called up. He played out of his mind the last 2 times he was called up. Otherwise,
because he was playing in butt-ass cold weather with hardly any pressure put on you because they can't run. Nobody's running their ass off in negative 17-degree weather. You're going to be able to sit on the ball and pass dimes. Whereas in Mexico, where it's 80 degrees, they're going to hammer us.
It will be interesting what he does with Adams on the yellow. Maybe Adams comes off after 60 minutes against Mexico, so he doesn't pick up a second and miss the Panama game. So maybe Acosta moves to the 6 and De La Torre sees the last 30.
I think it's hard to count Acosta out of the starting lineup for any of the games coming in. I think it's going to go Acosta, Adams, Musa.
Forwards, we have Areola, Ferreira, J-Mo, Jordan Pefok, Ricardo Pepi, Christian Pulisic, Gio Reyna, and Tim Weah. How does Gregg screw us up this window here, boys? I think he goes without Pefok, and I think he starts Areola in a game that is a must-win.
See, I think he goes Pulisic, I think he goes Ferreira, and I think he goes Weah. I think Panama, it could potentially be Pefok.
I hope Pefok gets some time, man. I hope he gets some love. He's been in form. I think he's tied his record number of goals in a season this year. He's pissed. He's pissed he didn't get a call-up, I'm sure. He's past the 20-goal mark. He scored that last-second winner against Man United in the Champions League. You know, he's done very well this season. He's in some good form. He knows the back of the net, unlike Pepi, unlike Ferreira.
I mean, he's the leading scorer. He's the leading scorer out of anybody on this lineup besides Christian Pulisic. They're both, you can arguably say, are scoring about the same amount. He's as far as club season, he's above Pulisic as well. We're gonna get the comments from at least one person saying, "Oh, well, he plays in an easier league." So what, man? He knows the back of the net. He's the leading scorer in that league.
He knows how to score. The downside of a striker not finding the back of the net in a better league has a more detrimental impact than one who plays against easier defenders. Like, if you play against easier defenders and you're scoring and scoring and scoring, you're going to find the back of the net, eventually. I would say more often than somebody who plays in a harder league and scores under 10 goals as a striker. Josh Sargent. Like, let's be real here, guys. Like, form and match sharpness over training and talent and ability. You know, that's why we're not saying where's DK. 1, because I'm pretty sure he's injured again, and 2, because he's not been playing too much, even if he's fresh off of his injury. But anyway, so let's move on to the last question. How does Gregg fuck this up? I'm going to say he goes to Mexico and chokes. It's not fine because it's a must-win game and we're tied on points and we need all the points we can because he dicked around against Canada, Panama, and El Salvador and a bunch of other teams that he shouldn't have earlier in all of the other windows. And I think he goes into Mexico, maybe pulls out a draw. If we get a win, awesome. Like, we should be good. That puts us 3 points above Mexico. We can go in, we can draw Panama, and we can get into the qualifiers. Worst case, we'll have to play the winner of Oceania, which should be New Zealand, which we should be able to beat. There's a lot of shoulds here. We should have already been qualified. We should have won CONCACAF. We should have had Daryl DK on a lot of these teams putting shit away. We should not have rolled on this roster.
I think Gregg shits the bed, and I think the U.S. boys saved the day with second-half performances and win out in Mexico and Panama, and we go coast in Costa Rica.
Moments FC. It comes
the boys
down
are going to do it.
Beating Panama at home, or it comes down to Panama screwing up at the last second and we eke out a result against Costa Rica.
I felt good about it before all the injuries, about qualifying, not having a heart attack this week. I think they have the potential to tie in Mexico. We've never won there. I think he puts out not the A lineup against Mexico to start and hopes to just kind of wear them down. You see Areola maybe maybe J-Mo.
Oh,
Maybe that's, and then I don't know what you do for defenders in that game. Just start your starters.
so Will, what do? Do you would like you're Greg Berhalter? You find like Greg Berhalter has your brain, so you are a brainless idiot sitting here, and Greg Berhalter receives a brain that is your brain. What do you do? Like, who do you line up with against Mexico, against Panama? Do you go with the same lineup? Do you go with your A lineup? Do you how do you run the game? How do you manage the game?
Yeah, I think it's a modified lineup. Like I want to save some gas for Pulisic and Weah for sure. I think it's a coin. I don't think anyone has any idea which striker he prefers.
I don't think he knows either.
He come out and said that he likes P-Folk against Panama. He likes that matchup for some reason. Maybe he was bluffing. Maybe he was serious.
Maybe he was just giving away all our tactics right there in the beginning to give Panama a chance.
I hope it's scoreless for 60 minutes and then he brings on Pulisic and Weah or Reyna or whoever to try and sneak a goal out. But the goal is to not lose, get a draw there, save my A lineup for Panama.
Do you flip your lineup to a 4-4-2?
No.
No,
and have two holding midfielders. If you're playing defensively, you better throw your
I think you go with a system
there.
You're comfortable with. Greg manages to play defensively in a 4-3-3.
Areola is very defensive. I think he started.
I think I put on J-Mo and Weah and have Weah play about 60, have J-Mo go most of the way, and then bring on Christian at the end, and I start Ferreira against Mexico and bring on Payfolk, who's Mr. Clutch.
Do you bring Reyna on for Weah then? Do you kind of flip-flop those? Speed for finesse. And then you put Christian on for J-Mo and you kind of have like 260s and then 240s, depending on the extra time.
I don't know who my midfield is against Mexico.
I think you have to have Adams and Musa start out. And then Acosta's a given. Like, Acosta's going to start there.
Why?
Dude, he's the only other midfielder that started outside of the starting three in any game.
Luca De La Torre started.
One start.
He has one start, bro. And
I thought he played more. I thought he had 2 starts in the World Cup qualifiers.
No. I have no confidence in Gregg making the correct decision.
Yeah.
Acosta is his favorite man. No, that's how he messes this up. Acosta starts, I'm telling you. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I am 100% wrong because I don't want Acosta on the field any more than I want Brooks on the roster.
Acosta and De La Torre could both start, and Acosta could be at the 6th, if he's worried about Adams on the yellow.
And take Adams on, yeah. Either way, I think Acosta is our replacement for McKennie. That's what Gregg is looking at. That's how I feel.
Oh, I just got chills down my spine. Oh, I hate hearing that. I think he starts Acosta at the 6 and plays Adams at the 8 with Musa. That's how I see him doing it. I don't see Acosta at the 8. I think he moves Adams to like McKennie's role.
I mean, it could get uglier. Then that means if it's not Acosta, it's gonna be rolled on.
Stop. All right, that's enough. That's enough.
Man,
I'm gonna throw up in my mouth.
If you look at our midfielders that we have right now, and out of the starts, Roldan has started more than De La Torre. Acosta has started more than De La Torre. Buzio has not started more than any of them. I mean, no, there's no chance it is outside of Roldan and Acosta to start. If he I will be the happiest man alive if he's smart enough to pick De La Torre. But I do not.
I'll be the happiest man in the world if he's smart enough to pick Reyna at the 10.
That would be. But we're not magical enough for that.
It's weird that, we're saying how we're way more confident in Acosta than Roldan when Roldan's like the way better MLS player between the two.
John, who do you think? If I pray that I am wrong. I hope. Team Gregg not messing up.
Maybe the U.S. Soccer Federation need this kick in the ass. I don't know.
And not qualify? What?
Again.
John, that is
automatically qualify and play the Oceania.
Let's wrap this episode up. I can't take this anymore.
What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Welcome back to us. Welcome back to the fold. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to leave a comment down below. Hit the like button. Hit the notification bell so you get all of our videos as soon as they post. We got a bunch of great content coming to you. We got a Y series on Jordan Pefok. We got an interview with a former executive of an MLS club, and we talk about a bunch of good stuff there. We've got some big developments here. We could have a sponsorship in that FBTN is sponsoring somebody. We got a bunch of great stuff coming for you in the year of 2022.
How many points do you think they get this window?
We gotta get 6. I don't think there's a how many. No, John, shut up. I need 6. I need 6 so that
9.
I can go.
We need
I
9, but
I need 6 so that I can walk around and work and be smiley.
I think 4 is enough for me. Get 4.
4?
We're okay. I think we're okay.
Andrew,
I thought
the optimist, Will setting the low bar that he knows Gregg can hit, or at least fall face first onto, and me being somewhat realistic and just tapering my expectations, knowing that he'll shit the bed somewhere. Anyway, boys, thank you. Go follow us on Twitter at FBTN101. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. We are Football by the Numbers, and we are back, baby.